there's been some talk with you of Michael Jackson about, as we've talked about you changing your image. Are you going to change Michael Jackson's image? There has been speculation about that.
I know. When I guess, you know, we've become friends, and we were speaking of working together, and we're not working together right now. I mean, I was going to do a song with him on his new album that's coming out. And we got together, and I can't help it. You can see how I am with the dancers. I sort of have to get my hands in there and go, oh, you should do this, you should wear that, you should cut your hair, you should do, you know, and I gave him a lot of books to read and director's reels, and I wanted, because I think he's very talented, but I felt that he needed to be exposed to more things than he had been exposing himself to, so I tried to have an influence on him. I don't know if he's going to heed any of my advice. After all, he's done pretty well for himself without me, so.
Would you have to be the boss in any relationship?
In a professional relationship?
In a personal relationship?
The boss. No, I don't want to be the boss all the time. I would like to be with someone who is my equal, so it's a back and forth kind of a thing. You know, sometimes they're in charge, sometimes I'm in charge. You know, it's a compromise.
You had a duet with Prince, and there was a lot of talk, of course, at one time of you working with Michael Jackson. I know you were quite keen on that, and people were looking forward to it. It would have been really something.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been really something.
Well, I mean, just, you know, a lot of it has to do with chemistry. There's, like, lots of great painters, but I don't know if they got together, they'd make a great painting. You know what I mean?
Not the same thing, though, is it? I mean, you
Yes,
can't really
it
share
is.
a brush, can you? It's not.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Andy
Rembrandt and
Warhol got
Picasso,
together
though.
with Keith Haring and made paintings, and they were great.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that is. Okay, you got me there. But so you weren't happy. Was it the chemistry that caused it to fall apart then?
Well, it's not that I was unhappy. I mean, it was an experiment. He called me. He wanted to write a song with me. I mean, he approached me, and I was, like, curious. It's hard for me to write music with people because I have to really know them and trust them and feel that I can really make myself vulnerable, because when you write, you have to sort of bear a little bit of your soul, and you have to not be afraid to make mistakes and to sing in front of someone. You know, it's in a way, it's a very intimate experience. So I wasn't sure it was going to work, even though I think he's talented. So we got together, and he played me a bit of music. It was a very unfinished track, and he said that he wanted to call the song "In the Closet," and I said, "Really?"
Well, hold it a second before we go on there. What exactly was he referring to there?
Well, wait, that's what I'm getting to. I said, "You want to call the song "In the Closet"?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, do you know what that implies?" And he said, "Yeah." And he sort of giggled a little bit, and I said, Well, you know, I like to deal with these kind of ironic innuendo kind of things. So if you want to go that way, I was kind of like shocked that he wanted to call something like that, because it's very provocative, the title. And so he said, yeah. So I started writing words and getting ideas and stuff, and I presented them to him, and he didn't like them. And I think that I think all he wanted was a provocative title, and ultimately he didn't want the content of the song to be sort of live up to the title. And
it's quite interesting, because it's almost like you traditionally, you've got the kind of masculine role in that relationship, and he is the passive.
Yes, definitely.
But let's not go much further with that, shall we?
Let's not. Well, you're welcome to.
There was talk, I believe, that you were going to restyle him. You didn't like the way he looked. What did you have in mind for him?
I really wanted him to cut his hair. I mean, you know, just that, you know, I think sometimes it's good to cut your hair and start all over again.
How short?
That was my main thing. I wanted him to get a really short haircut. And I wanted him to get rid of those loafers, you know, and the white socks. I just thought, you know, just try something new. But, you know.
When you look at people, do you generally, I mean, are you, if not critical, are you kind of aware of the way people look, and do you think he or she would look better this way, or why don't they do this way? Is that something that's often going on in your head?
Oh, yeah. I'm often reading people.
What would you do for me?
In general?
Well, you can be as specific as you want, but...
Well, let's see. What would I do for you right now with what you were wearing?
Yeah.
Well, I think you actually look quite good. I mean, I was told you were wearing a lavender jacket, and I didn't expect to like it.
It's
and I can see that it's Mugler.
Yeah.
It is, right? He's not my favorite designer. I would probably wear less of his clothes.